Winter is a special time of the year. While we are sitting at home in the warmth and drinking hot tea, our garden is going through one of the most difficult periods of its life. And many plants that seem strong, pleased us with flowers, aromas, and greenery in the summer, suddenly start to get sick, freeze out, or do not wake up at all in the spring. We often think it's just frost, but in fact, there are many more reasons. Today, I want to talk about 5 plants that die most often in winter. And most importantly, I'll tell you how to save them. Everything is based on experience and practice and simple words, as if we were standing next to each other in the garden and discussing what to do. Think about which plants you had the worst last winter. Maybe that's what we're going to talk about today. The first plant is a hydrangea. Hydrangea is a gentle beauty. In summer, it brings such pleasure. Huge caps of flowers, shades from pale blue to bright pink. But winter is a real test for her, especially for large leaf varieties. Why does hydrangea suffer so much in winter? There are several reasons, and most of them are not related to frost, but to improper preparation. Many hydrangeas bloom on the shoots of last year. This means that if the shoots are frozen, there will be no flowering in the spring. The shoot may look normal in autumn, but if there were sudden temperature changes, ice, strong winds, or dry frost in winter, it gets damaged, even if we don't notice it. Hydrangea roots are also weak. They suffer if the soil freezes deeply, if there is no snow, or vice versa, when there is an ice crust after a thaw. What should I do? First of all, hydrangeas need shelter. But not just any kind of film, by no means a film. She's warming up. She needs air. It is best to use a frame so that the plant does not press against the covering material. There is a dense spun bond on top, and the roots must be mulched. Leaves, hay, bark, the main thing is that the layers should be 10 to 20 centimeters in length. And one more thing, never cut a large leaf hydrangea at the root. This is the most common mistake. Leave the shoots, just remove the inflorescences. Ask yourself, how did I cover the hydrangea last fall? Perhaps the answer will already tell you why there were no flowers in the spring. The second plant is roses. Oh, the roses! Beautiful, fragrant, proud. They decorate the garden so much that you want to admire them every day. But for all their strength in summer, roses are very moody in winter. And you know what's interesting? Most roses don't die from the cold and from the wrong hiding place. Yes, that's right. Hiding too early and the rose steams. Too dense a shelter and a fungus appears. Too late and the shoots freeze out. In autumn, it is important to help the rose prepare for winter. Since the end of August, we no longer give nitrogen fertilizers. We're not stimulating growth. We need mature shoots, strong, dense. In autumn, the rose is slightly pruned, but not rigidly. The main thing is to remove the soft, unripened twigs. It is also better to remove the leaves. They often develop diseases. And then, hoeing. Dry earth, not peat, not compost, and only when the temperature drops steadily to just -7 or -10, you can shelter. Not before. A rose needs cold to get into a state of rest. A shelter is a framework, just the frame. It has 2 to 3 layers of spun bond on it, and that's it. No bags, films, or sealed materials. Think about it. Last year, did you cover the roses in early November or late October? Or maybe they did it in September. It is very possible that this is the reason for the winter problems. The third plant is lavender. Lavender is summer in its purest form. It smells of sun, warmth, and the south, and it's a shame when it doesn't survive the winter. Many gardeners think that lavender is not suitable for our regions, but it all depends on the type. English lavender winters well. She is compact, strong, and hardy, and the broad-leaved one almost always dies. It's not your fault, it's just her personality. Lavender does not tolerate steaming. If you have covered it with the film or a dense material, then in the winter it can rot even at low temperatures. That's why lavender loves the air. It is covered very easily with lapnik or a thin spun bond. The main thing is not to close it tightly and definitely a dry place. Lavender does not like stagnant water. It is better to plant it on a hummock or in well-drained soil. Do moderate pruning. Do not cut into wood. This weakens the bush, and in the winter, it dies. If your lavender didn't overwinter last year, most likely the problem was dampness or that the variety was not hardy. The fourth plant are conifers. It seems that conifers are plants that should live well in winter. But how often do we see yellow, brown, burnt tuas in spring? Or the junipers which seemed as if they had faded? Conifers have one feature. They evaporate moisture even in winter. And the roots, frozen, can't take water. It turns out that the plant is drying, although there is snow around. So in autumn, conifers need abundant watering, so-called moisture charging. It helps them survive the winter. Large snow caps are breaking branches, so it is better to tie the tua slightly with twine to reduce the load. And conifers burn in the sun, especially in early spring. To avoid this, they are shaded with a spun bond or burlap, or nets, but not the film. Many conifers suffer from fungal diseases in winter, so in autumn, fungicide treatment is an excellent preventative measure. If your tua turned red last season, it's possible they just didn't have enough moisture or sun protection. The fifth plant is trees with tender roots. These can be cherries, pears, apricots, ornamental apple trees, and many young trees. Not only low temperatures are dangerous for them, but also fluctuations. The roots of these trees are close to the surface, which means that they freeze the fastest. To help the tree, you need to carefully mulch the trunk circle. It is a natural insulator, soft and safe. 5, 10, or better, 15 centimeters in length, and of course, protecting the trunk from rodents. They are active in winter and love young bark. Don't forget about the whitewash. This is both protection from the sun and from pests. And if there is not enough snow, rake it to the roots. This is the best natural fur coat. If a young tree died last spring, it is possible that the reason was not at all in the frost, but in frozen roots. The practical part. What to do step by step. The first step, in autumn, inspect all the plants. Find weak shoots, remove the diseased and unhealthy parts. The second step, carry out deep water-charging irrigation, especially conifers and roses. The third step, mulch the roots. Don't spare the material. The fourth step, prepare comfortable shelters so that there is air between the plant and the material. The fifth step, in winter, check the shelters from time to time. Remove the ice crust and shovel the snow. The sixth step, in spring, remove the shelter gradually so that the plant does not get sun stress. Conclusion. Wintering is not something difficult. It's just a concern. And if you do everything right, the plants will thank you with lush blooming, strong shoots, and healthy leafage. Think about which plants in your garden need your help the most. Which ones had the worst experience last winter? And be sure to tell us about your experience. Every gardener knows something and can help others. And what topic do you want us to explore in the next video? The wintering of indoor plants or the mistakes of autumn pruning?